हे एवरीवन, वेलकम टू MSNCR स्टडीज। और आज की इस वीडियो में हम रीडिंग करेंगे क्लास 12 ज्योग्राफी का चैप्टर 7 टेरिटरी एंड क्वार्टरनरी एक्टिविटीज। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। व्हेन यू fall ill, you go to your family doctor or you call a doctor. Sometimes your parents take you to a hospital for treatment. While in school, you are taught by your teachers. In the event of any dispute, legal opinion is obtained from a lawyer. Likewise, there are many professionals who provide their services against payment of their fee. Thus, all type of services are special skill provided in exchange of payment. Health, education, law, governments, recreation, etc. require professional skills. These services require other theoretical knowledge and practical training. Territory activities are related to the service sector. Manpower is an important component of the service sector, as most of the territory activity are performed by skilled labor, professionally trained experts and consultants. In the initial stage of economic development, large proportion of people work in the primary sector. In a developed economy, the majority of workers get employment in tertiary activity and a moderate proportion is employed in the secondary sector. Tertiary activity include both production and exchange. The production involves the provision of services that are consumed. The output is indirectly measured in terms of wages and salaries. Exchange involves trade, transport and communication facilities that are used to overcome distance. Territory activity therefore involves the commercial output of service rather than the production of tangible goods. They are not directly involved in the processing of physical raw material. Common examples are the work of plumber, electrician, technician, launderer, barber, shopkeeper, driver, cashier, teacher, doctor, lawyer, and publisher, etc. The main difference between secondary and tertiary activity is that the expertise provided by service relies more heavily on specialized skills, experience, and knowledge of the worker rather than on the production of technique, machinery, and factory processes. Types of tertiary activity. By know, you know that you purchase your book stationery from tailor shop, travel by bus or rail, send letter, talk on telephone and obtain services of a teacher for studies and doctor at the time of illness. Thus, trade, transport, communication and service are some of the tertiary activities discussed in the section. The chart provides basic of classification in the tertiary activity. Trade and commerce. Trade is essentially buying and selling of items purchased elsewhere. All the services in retail and wholesale, trading or commerce are specifically intended for profit. The towns and cities where all these workers take place known as a trading center. The rise of trading from barter at the local level to money exchange of international scale has produced many centers and institutions such as trading center of collection and distribution point. Trading center may be divided into rural and urban marketing sectors. Rural marketing center cater to nearby settlements. These are quasi-urban center. They serve as trading center of the most rudimentary type. Here, personal and professional services are not well developed. These from local collecting and distributing centers, most of these having mandis, wholesale market and also retailing areas. They are not urban center per se but are significant center for making available goods and services which are most frequently demanded by rural folk. Periodic markets in rural area are found where there are no regular market. Local periodic market are organized at different temporal intervals. These may be weekly market from where people from the surrounding area meet their temporarily accumulated demand. These markets are held on a specific date and move from one place to another. The shopkeeper thus remain busy all the day while a large area is served by them. Urban marketing centers have more widely specialized urban services. They provide ordinary goods and services as well as many the specialized goods and services required by people. Urban centers therefore offer manufactured goods as well as many specialized market developed. Example, market of labor, housing, semi-fishing, semi or finished product. Services of educational institutions and professionals such as teacher, lawyer, consult physician, dentist and veterinary doctor are available. Retail trading. This is the business activity concerned with the sale of goods directly to the consumer. Most of the retail trading takes place in the fixed establishment on store slowly devoted to selling. Street peddling, handicrafts, truck, door-to-door, mail order, telephone, automatic vending machine and internet are examples of non-store retail trading. More on store, consumer cooperative were the first of the large-scale innovation in retailing. Departmental store delegate the responsibility and authority to develop department head of purchasing of commodities and of overseeing the scale in different sections of the store. Chain store are able to purchase merchandise most economically, often going so far to direct as goods to be manufactured to their specification. They, they employ highly skilled specialists in many executive tasks. They have the ability to experiment in one store and apply the result to many. Wholesale trading. Wholesale trading constitutes bulk business through numerous intermediary merchants and supply houses and not through retail store. Some large stores including chain stores are able to buy directly from the manufacturer. However, most retail stores procure supply from an intermediary source. Wholesalers often extended credit to retail store to such an extent that the retailer operator very largely on the wholesaler capital. Transport. Transport is a service or facility by which people, material and manufactured goods are physically carried from one location to another. It is an organized industry created to satisfy man's basic need of mobility. Modern society requires speedy and efficient transport system to assist in the production, distribution and consumption of goods. At every stage in the complex system, the value of material is significantly enhanced by transportation. Transport distance can be measured as kilometer distance or accurate distance of route length, time distance or the time taken to travel on a particular route, and cost distance or expense of traveling on a route. In selecting the mode of transport, distance in terms of time or cost is determined factor. Incrones lines are drawn on the map to join places equal in terms of time taken to reach them. Network and accessibility. As transport systems develop, different places are linked together to form a network. Networks are made up of nodes and links. A node is the meeting points of two or more routes, a point of origin, a point of destination, or any sizable town along a route. Every road that joins two nodes called a link. A developed network has many links, which means that places are well connected. Factor affecting transport. Demanding for transport is influenced by the size of population. The larger population size is the greater is the demand of transport. Route depend on location of city, town, villages, industrial center, and raw material, pattern of trade between them, nature and landscape between them, type of climate, and funds available for overcoming obstacles along the length of the route. Communication. Communication service involve the transmission of word and message, fact and idea. The invention of writing preserved message and help to make communication dependent on mean of transport. These were actually carried by hand, animal, boat, road, rail and air. That is why all forms of transport are also referred to as line of communication. Where the transport network is efficient, communication are easily disseminated. Certain developments such as mobile telephony and satellite have made communication independent of transport. All forms are not fully dissociated because of the cheapness of the older system. Thus, very large volume of mail continue to be handled by post offices as all over the world. Some of the communication services are discussed below. Telecommunication. The use of telecommunication is linked to the development of modern technology. It has revolutionized communications because of the speed with which messages are sent. At the time reduces from week to minute. Besides the recent advancement like mobile telephony have made communication direct and instantaneous at any time and from anywhere. The telegraphy, Morse code and telex have almost become things of the past. Radio and television also help to relay news, picture and telephone call to vast audience around the world and hence they are termed as mass media. They are vital for advertising and entertainment. Newspapers are able to cover the event in all over corner of the world. Satellite communication realize information of the earth and from space. The internet has truly revolutionized the global communication system. Services. Services occur to many different levels. Some are gathered to industry, some to people and some to both industry and people. Example, the transport system. Law order service such as grocery shop and laundry are more common and widespread than high order services or more specialized one like those of accounts, consult and physicians. Services are provided to individual consumers who can afford to pay for them. For example, the gardener, the launderer and the barber do primarily physical labor. Teacher, lawyer, physician, musician and other perform mental labor. Many services have no being regulated, making and maintaining highway and bridges, maintaining firefighting department and supplying or supervising education and customer care are among the important services most often supervised or performed by government or company. State and union legislation have established corporations to supervise and control the marketing of such services as transport, telecommunication, energy and water supply. Professional services are primarily healthcare, engineering, law and management. The location of recreational and entertainment services depend on the market. Multiplex and restaurant might find location within or near the central business district (CBD), whereas a golf course would choose a site where land costs are low than in the CBD. Personal services are made available to the people to facilitate their work in daily life. The worker migrate from rural area in search of employment and are unskilled. They are employed in domestic services as housekeeper, cook and gardener. This segment of worker is generally organized. One such example in India, Mumbai's Dabuwala Tiffin service provided to about 1,75,000 customers all over the city. People engaged in tertiary activity. Today, most people are service worker. Service are provided in all society, but in more developed country, a higher percentage of worker is employed in providing services, and compared to less developed country, the trend in the employment in this sector has been increasing while it has remained unchanged or decreasing in the primary and secondary activity. Some selected example: tourism. Tourism is the travel undertaken for purpose of recreation rather than business. It has become the world's single largest tertiary activity in total registered job 250 million and total revenue 40% of the total GDP. Besides, many local persons are employed to provide services like accommodation, meals, transport, entertainment, and special shops serving the tourists. Tourism fosters the growth of infrastructure industry, retail trading, and craft industry. In some regions, tourism is seasonal because the vacation period is dependent on favorable weather conditions, but many regions attract visitors all the year round. Tourist regions: the warmer place around the Mediterranean coast and the west coast of India are some of the popular tourist destinations in the world. Others include winter sport regions found mainly in mountain area and various scenic landscape and national parks which are scattered. Historic towns also attract tourists because of monument, heritage site and cultural activity. Factor affecting tourism demand. Since the last century, the demand for holiday has increased rapidly. Improvement in the standard of living and increased leisure time permit many more people to go on holiday for leisure. Transport. The opening up of tourist area has been aided by improvement in transport facility. Travel is easier by car with better road system. More significant in recent years has been the expansion in air transport. For example, air travel allows one to travel anywhere in the world in a few hours of flying time from their home. The advent of package holiday has reduced the cost. Tourist attraction, climate. Most people of colder region expect the warm, sunny weather for beach holiday. This is one of the main reasons the more importance of tourism in Southern Europe and the Mediterranean land. The Mediterranean climate offers almost constantly higher temperature than in the other part of Europe, long hours of sunshine and low rainfall throughout the peak of holiday season. People taking winter holiday have specific climate requirement, either higher temperature than their own homeland or snow cover suitable for skiing. Landscape. Many people like to spend their holiday in attractive environment, which often mean mountain, lake, spectacle, sea coast, and landscape not commonly altered by man. History of art. The history and art of an area have potential attractiveness. People visit ancient or picturesque town and archaeological site and enjoy exploring castles, places and churches. Culture and economy. These attract tourists with a penchant for experiencing ethnic and local customs. Besides, if a region provides for the need of tourists at a cheap cost, it is likely to become very popular. Homestay has emerged as profitable business such as Heritage Home in Goa, Medicare and Cargo in Karnataka. Medical services for overseas patients in India. About 55,000 patients from USA visited in India 2005 for treatment. This is still a small number compared with the million of surgery performed each year in USA healthcare system. India has emerged as the leading country to medical tourism in the world. World-class hospital located in metropolitan cities cater to patients all over the world. Medical tourism bring abundant benefit to developing countries like India, Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia. Beyond medical tourism is the trend of outsourcing of medical tests and data, and Australia have been performing certain medical services ranging from reading radiology image to interpreting magnetic resonance image MRIs and ultrasound tests. Resonance image ultrasounding outsourcing hold trendmouth advantage for patient if it is forced on improving quality or providing specialized care. Medical tourism. When medical treatment is combined with the international tourism activity, it leads itself to what is commonly known as medical tourism. Quaternary activity. What do a CEO of an MNC in Copenhagen at New York and a medical transcripts at Bangalore have in common? All these people work in segment of the service sector that is knowledge oriented. This sector can be divided into quaternary and quaternary activity. Quaternary activity involves some of the following: the collection, production, and dissemination of information, or even the production of information. Quaternary activities center around research, development, and many be seen as an advanced form of services involving specialized knowledge and technical skill. The quaternary sector. The quaternary sector, along with the tertiary sector, has replaced most of the primary and secondary employment as the basis for economic growth. Over half of all workers in developed economy are in knowledge sector, and there has been a very high growth in demand for the consumption of information-based services, from mutual fund manager to tax consult of software developer and statisticians. Personnel working in office building, elementary school and university classroom, hospital and doctor, officer, theater accounting and brokers, films all belong to this category of service. Like some of the territory function, quaternary activity can also be outsourced. They are not tied to resource affected by the environment or necessarily localized by market. Outsourcing has resulted in the opening up of a large number of call centers in India, China, East Europe, Israel, Philippines, and Costa Rica. It has created new jobs in these countries. Outsourcing is coming to those countries where cheap and skilled workers are available. These are also out migrating countries with the work available through outsourcing. The migration in the country may come down. Outsourcing countries are facing resistance from job seeking youth in their respective country. The comparative advantage is the main reason of continuing outsourcing. New trend in culinary services include knowledge processing outsourcing, KPO, and home shoring, the latter as an alternative to outsourcing. The KPO industry is distinct from business process outsourcing as it involves high skilled workers. It is information driven knowledge outsourcing. KPO enable company to create additional business opportunity. Example of KPO include research and development, R&D activity, e-learning, business research, intellectual property research, legal profession, and the banking sector. The digital divide. Opportunity emerging from the information and communication technology based development is unevenly distributed across the globe. There are wide-ranging economic, political, and social differences among countries. How quickly country can provide ICT access and benefit to its citizens is the deciding factor. While developed countries in general have surged forward, the developing countries have lagged behind, and this known as digital divide. Similarly, digital divide exists within country. For example, in a large country like India or Russia, it has inevitable than certain area like metropolitan center processes better connectivity and access to digital world versus physical rural area. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.